but well, you can't have any more drama.
And Serena smashes Steffi's record.
Oh, that is scandalous!
When they write the story of the great tennis matches ever played.
Roger Federer's greatest player I've ever seen.
That was simply extraordinary.
Almost none of this planning.
Welcome to the Australian Open for night 14, men's final night. This is AO Extra. Welcome to everyone inside Rod Laver Arena and to our viewers watching on the web as well. It's the 50th anniversary of the Australian Open. Joining me, Jon Hoevenaars, is Nat Edwards for the final time in 2019.
Geez, the 2 weeks has gone so quickly, John, but I'm so pumped for tonight, obviously. Novak Djokovic, the world #1, taking on the world #2 in Rafael Nadal, and we're all pumped. The ball kids are out here. The 12 best ball kids, boys and girls, left in the tournament. They've been warming up, so I think, Rod Laver, we should give them a bit of applause.
Let's give it an applause. You know, they started with more than 350 ball kids, and they whittled it down to, well, the top 100, and then they found the most outstanding two, Blake Drury and Sarah Lemon-Ward. They're among the 12 out here tonight. A real privilege for them. Hey, Nat, some big names on the show tonight, including two Aussie legends.
Oh, I am so excited. We, of course, have the godfather of tennis, Frank Sedgman, coming in to join us here on AO Extra, and then the man himself, Rod Laver, joining us in just a few moments. So really excited to get their thoughts on tonight's match, but of course, just 50 years of the Open.
1969, and it was his second career Grand Slam. We'll have a chat to Rocket about that in a few moments' time. Well, Nat, history is on the line for both players tonight, and for very different reasons. Let's start with Novak Djokovic, who's gunning for a 7th Australian Open title.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, he just is phenomenal, isn't he? And can he break the record that he currently shares with Roy Emerson and Roger Federer? Djokovic has been in pretty good form. Can he beat Nadal, who I think has been the more impressive so far this tournament, not having dropped a set? But Novak, as we know, leads the head-to-heads here, 27-25. This is the 53rd time they've met, which is crazy. That's a record in itself.
Yeah, it's the most of any two players on the tour at the moment. 53, simply incredible. And a rematch, we must say, of the 2012 final here, which went some 5 hours, 53 minutes. For everyone here tonight, I'm hoping we don't go quite as long.
I don't think we can with the new tie break in the 5th set, so fingers crossed.
It shapes as an almighty battle. Let's get the thoughts of the world #1, Novak Djokovic.
For various reasons, this has been a lucky place for me. It's one of the 4 biggest events we have in sport. I love playing in Rod Laver, probably my most successful court of any around the world.
That is an absolute masterclass of a point from Djokovic.
I have plenty of motivation, I don't need more. I'm pumped, I'm looking forward to it. Right now what I need is just tranquility and kind of channeling the focus in the right way so I can excel. Cycled to the beach today with my coach and we had a blast. We had a nice time in the water and just enjoyed the city.
Beach time! Let's do it! Let's do it, baby! Go, 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 go! Yeah, that's my coach.
I won so many titles here in Australia.
6 Australian Open title for the Serb.
By far my most successful Grand Slam.
When they write the story of the great tennis matches ever played, this one has got to be right up the front of the book. 5 hours and 53 minutes.
That stays as probably the most epic match and special match I was part of, without a doubt. I have some incredible memories from that match. Unfortunately, there couldn't be 2 winners. It goes down in history as the longest Grand Slam final ever, and maybe we'll break the record.
Novak Djokovic going for history if he can win tonight, a record 7th Australian Open title. Well, Nat, there's also history on the line for Rafael Nadal, because if he wins tonight, he would become just the 3rd person in history and the 1st in the Open era to win 2 or more of all the major titles.
Yeah, quite incredible. And I think there's a really good omen tonight, John, and that is because the trophy bearer tonight is named Nadal.
You're kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. His name is Nadal, and he is looking after the trophy, and he's going to bring it out here later. So what an omen.
If that's not an omen, I don't know what is. I just hope there's a Novak wandering around in the back corridor somewhere.
You never know.
Because we need to even this up a bit. Well, as I mentioned, Nadal going for a history of his own. Let's get his thoughts ahead of the men's championship decider.
It's not easy to be back after 4 months or 5 months and play the way that I am playing. I didn't expect that at all.
Remember that this is a man who has not played competitively since the US Open Championship.
I love compete in general terms, and I love to compete in the best places in the world. Australian Open is one of these ones, and being in the final means a lot to me.
We talk so much about how strong Rafa is mentally, but it's something this keeps surprising me, because I've seen him every day, and I know what's going on with him, and honestly, to be here in the final kind of surprised me the way that he's been playing this tournament.
The only way to have chances to beat against a player like Novak is to play at the best level that you have, and that's what they're going to try.
He's nervous a little bit. Playing Novak or Roger for him is a bit different, special, and being that in the final even more. He has the capacity to turn this into motivation. Of course, he's going to be nervous, he feels pressure, but we believe that Novak feels that as well.
Plenty of occasions that we met in the important stages, so yeah, have been special, and yeah, he's an unbelievable competitor that brings you to the limit.
Novak has the game to hurt Rafa, but I want to believe that Rafa also has the game to hurt Novak.
The great Rafael Nadal, the world #2, competing tonight against Novak Djokovic. Well, Nat, we have some special guests with us tonight, 2 very special guests. They're involved in tonight's match in a little over half an hour. Blake Drury and Sarah Lemon-Ward are the 2 most outstanding ball kids of 2019. Congratulations, guys, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are the preparations going? We saw you warming up out there. Is everyone feeling confident?
Yeah, there's quite a buzz about the ball kids, so we're all looking forward to tonight.
Amazing. Sarah, for you, what's it like when Rafa, have you done one of his games before? Because he likes to towel off a lot, and I imagine he gets pretty sweaty. What's it like holding Rafa's towel?
Yeah, I haven't done Rafa yet, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure, yeah, it'll be really fun.
Now, Sarah, you're quite experienced. You've done a lot of Brisbane internationals. You're a Queensland local. Blake, you're a Melburnian. Is this the biggest crowd that you've ever performed in front of, let's say?
Yeah, I've never done a men's final before, so I'm really looking forward to this.
What about you, Blake, in your 4th Australian Open?
I've never done a men's final either, so it's going to be good.
It's a big stage, but I've got great faith in you guys.
Yeah, cheers.
Anything you'd like to say to your fans in the stands here?
Oh, just enjoy the game tonight, I guess.
Do you get the chance to actually enjoy the game, or is it business for you?
Enjoy the whole thing. Yeah, it's just great being on court with some of the world's best tennis players.
Who's your favourite?
Oh, Roger, but I'm going for Rafa tonight.
Okay, Rafa. Sarah?
Yeah, Serena, but I don't mind who wins tonight.
Look, guys, you're going to look back on this moment tonight in the rest of your lives, and you'll cherish it. So try and take it all in. Have a great time out there, but we believe you'll do your best possible. Thanks for joining us.
Good luck. Thank you.
Now, guys, we're going to... let's give them a hand.
Yeah, round of applause for Sarah and Blake.
Now, Nat, 50 years ago was the first Australian Open.
Yes.
Before then, it was an amateurs-only domain.
That's right.
But since then, the professionals have been allowed in, and we've seen another new chapter of history written. Let's take a look back at the 50 years that we've seen of Open tennis in poetry form.
It's hard to watch the greats today and not sit back in awe at the vision and accomplishments of those who went before. The pioneers whose grace and talent helped the game to grow and forged the Open era half a century ago. Players who weren't driven by the thought of wealth or fame, but rather by a pure and simple love of this great game. Those who gave their all each time they set foot on a court, not to earn a livelihood, but just to play a sport. And those pioneers are up there with the greatest of them all.
But the big question, who was the greatest, will never really be answered.
Newcombe, Connors, Tanner, Ash, Velas and Rosewall, Edmondson, Teacher, Creek and Laver, Goolagong, Lendl, Wade. We'd marvel at their elegance and at the skills that they displayed. Everett, Reed, Navratilova, Edberg, Margaret Court, masters of their craft and the foundations of their sport, with flawless reputations that have stood the test of time, and memories of their matches still send shivers down your spine. So as we celebrate the Australian Open's 50 glorious years, we tip our hat to each and every one of those pioneers who've left a mark that Father Time himself can never fade. So on behalf of every tennis fan, thank you and well played.
What a fantastic piece of poetry, the great Rupert McCall. Let's give him a hand. That's a magnificent poem, Nat.
How do you go writing poetry, John?
Well, Nat, I think you've seen some of my work. I don't think I rival Rupert, but
at uni?
I'm up there.
All right.
Hey, coming up, the great Rod Laver, who actually won that 1969 Australian Open title as part of his second career Grand Slam, his first in the Open era, to be joining us soon. Also, Frank Sedgman as well.
Yes, at 91 years of age, is still going, and it'll be great to have him in to chat and just relive some of the great memories from back in the day.
Hey, also today was the men's doubles final.
Yes.
And the French fifth seeds of Nicolas Mahut and Pierre-Hugues Herbert recorded their third Grand Slam title win.
Yeah, they did, and they completed a first career Grand Slam, which was so exciting for the Frenchmen. Unfortunately for Australia's John Peers and Henri Continen, his Finnish partner, I should say, they weren't able to get the job done, but John Peers off now to Adelaide because we've got a Davis Cup tie coming up.
Looking forward to that against Bosnia and Herzegovina next weekend. The tennis calendar does not stop.
I love it.
At Memorial Drive, no less.
Yeah,
so
I know.
A return home for Leighton Hewitt, where he's done some of his best work. In fact, it all started there, really, at the age of 16 in 1998.
And it's been great to see the Aussie flavour in the doubles. We obviously had Sam Stosur and Zhang Shui win the women's doubles championship a couple of days ago. We had Astra Sharma and JP Smith in the mixed doubles final last night. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get the job done, but what an amazing experience and a great tournament for Astra Sharma, who's just 19 years of age.
Well, it's been a magnificent campaign for a lot of Australians, and there's a lot of us in the house tonight. Let's see how loud we can get this Rod Laver Arena crowd. We're only half an hour away, so let's hear all of you in the stands give a big cheer in 3, 2, 1. Not bad, Nat, not bad.
That's all right, but I reckon you could do a little bit better, especially when a certain man called Rod Laver has just walked into the house. So how about we give that another go? 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that's better. I think Rod likes that.
Well, the great Rod Laver is celebrating 50 years since his phenomenal second career Grand Slam, and he'll be with us on the other side of this package, the Rockhampton Rocket.
Rod Laver competing for his second Grand Slam.
You wanted to prove that you were a player that could compete in the amateur side and the open side.
And Rod Laver rolls on towards the slam, towards the title, towards the $16,000 check.
They're not giving you freebies. This is money's on the line every time you walk on the court.
Rod Laver has won it. He's the slammer, the Grand Slammer.
You know, there's a lot of things happening in this particular year, early in '69.
And the man after whom this stadium is named joins us here at the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to his own arena, Rod Laver. Rod, you're a national treasure, and we're celebrating, can you believe, 50 years since your second career Grand Slam in 1969.
I was thrilled. It was amazing to know that open tennis is here, because I was an amateur before that, and so being able to go to Brisbane in 1969 and win the Australian, it was a thrill to complete my career.
Can you just give us an impression of what that transition was like, going from amateur tennis to an open field where the professionals were there?
Yeah, well, it turned out before that happened, I was an amateur, then I decided to turn pro, and so for 5 years, you know, I played from 63 to 68 as a pro, and open tennis came in 68, which was the best thing that ever happened to this game of tennis.
Do you have a favourite memory?
No, I think any time you play at Wimbledon, I played John Newcomb at Wimbledon in 69 and was successful, so that to me is as good as it gets.
What about watching matches here? Do you have a favourite Australian Open memory in this arena here?
You know, I was unfortunate I couldn't play in this arena, but I'm just thinking, being able to be here and see the tennis the last 2 nights with Rafa and Novak is just beyond belief how well they played. So tonight, the public tonight are going to see some of the best tennis you will ever see.
Yeah.
Rod, what does it mean to see your arena filled to capacity on the final night of the Australian Open?
No, it's tennis has come so far with open tennis, but just seeing what the Victorian government and the people that are running the program here, it's 15,000 seats is amazing, and they're all tennis people, because I know I've had that opportunity to meet a lot of them. So it's a thrill to be back, thrill to be part of today's event.
And what about a tip for tonight? I know you talked about we'll see some of the best tennis ever here tonight between Rafa and Djokovic. Do you think Novak is going to break Roy's record and Roger's record?
It's going to be hard. I think, to me, I say Nadal is playing some of his best tennis. So to beat him, he's going to deserve that victory of having 6 times. But the one thing I do like to think is that when you're watching the game, don't just watch the ball backwards and forwards. Just put yourself and look at the player only. One time, watch all the play one person does, and then switch it over, because that'll show you just how much work that's going on.
Great insights from the great Rod Laver. Well, Rod, in 2012, you had the honour of presenting the Norman Brooks Challenge Cup to Novak Djokovic when he played Nadal, and he had the great honour of returning the favour here on opening night 13 nights ago. Let's take a look.
Would you please welcome out onto court, Rod "Rocket" Laver. He's joined by the current world #1, Novak Djokovic. It's always brilliant to have you back down in Australia, to have you in your own house. You must be enjoying it.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable to think I'm standing here in 1969, 50 years, to be thinking that I'm doing it in my own arena. So it's unbelievable and a thrill.
It's been 50 years since that historic moment of a calendar slam, and it's a huge privilege for me to be here and to present this trophy to Mr. Laver.
Well, another man who celebrates a milestone this year. It's a 70-year milestone, nonetheless. It is Frank Sedgman. Frank, welcome to Rod Laver Arena. Ladies and gentlemen, please give Frank a hand.
Thank you.
70 years since your Australian championship in 1949. Tell us about what you remember.
Well, I'd been on a Davis Cup trip, and I'd come back to Australia, and I'd won the Davis Cup to bring it back to Australia. And one of my colleagues on that trip was John Bromwich, and I used to practice with him, and I couldn't win a set off him. Anyway, we got to the Australian Championships in Adelaide, and I got through right through the final, and I had to meet Jon in the final. Anyway, I had a day out, and I was able to beat him in straight sets.
Fantastic. Finally got the job done on the stage that counted.
Now, Frank, we do have a special treat for you indeed tonight, because to honour that 70-year anniversary since your first Australian title, we've got Rocket.
What about Rocket?
Who's delivering?
Bringing in a little something for you.
Well, you have to be someone pretty special to have Rod Laver as your foot servant.
49.
Yeah, 49.
And there's a picture
You
here.
weren't born then, were you?
No, I don't think.
That's you at Wimbledon.
Oh,
do you remember that moment?
Yes.
You're a pretty handsome old rooster back then, Frank.
Oh, well, you know, all the girls were chasing me.
Yeah, I bet. How was he in the day with the ladies, Rocket?
He was good. It was before my time, though.
Yeah.
20
but
years.
49 winning the championship at Wimbledon, unbelievable.
Well, that's 52, that one. And that's 1952.
1952 at Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Do you, Frank, have good memories of watching Rod play as well?
Yeah, I have very good memories of him. I actually played him. I had a match point on him.
Oh, no.
And he came out, you know, and beat me. I didn't like that too much, but anyway.
Do you remind him of that, Rod?
It was a thrill. It was a thrill to play someone like Frank, because he had all those years, you know, and the history that we had of Frank playing and watching. So, you know, it's one of those things that all the tennis fraternity enjoy playing the top guys.
Yeah.
Frank, you obviously won, in a 5-year span, 22 Grand Slam titles, singles, doubles, mixed, you name
That's
it,
ridiculous.
you won it. In a 5-year span, that's unbelievable. Do you have a favourite, or is it too hard to pick?
Oh, well, of course, you'd like to win Wimbledon, and that's the peak of your tennis career, I think. And I was lucky enough to win 3 events in the 1 year, and there's been no male player do that since.
Yep.
And I won 6 Wimbledon titles altogether, but putting it all together with 22 Grand Slams is not too bad.
It's just an incredible... I can't even conceive of winning that many in 5 years. It's an amazing accomplishment for you, and that's why we are also honouring you with this cake today. Who are you going to share this with, by the way? Do you think Rocket's good for a slice?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. Who else?
He needs building up.
I'd love a slice.
Where's our knife?
We'll get the knife and we'll slice that up. Maybe if we get the slices thin enough, everyone here in Rod Laver Arena might be good for a slice.
Well, thank you. That's great.
The great Frank Sedgman. Ladies and gentlemen, can we thank him?
I'd just like to mention my doubles partner, Ken McGregor. You know, I think of him a lot of times.
Yep.
And we had a good career together. And we won a Grand Slam like Rocket won the singles.
Okay.
And, you know, it was great of Ken, you know, to be the partner, and I often think of him.
Great memories.
I wish he was here.
Okay, a great right-hander, a great left-hander. We'll see them tonight in the final, a righty versus a lefty.